Acroscopic Studios' grey logo spins on a black screen. Acroscopic Studios is at the bottom of the screen. It is morning with blue skies, white clouds, and an abundance of lush greenery. Jeffery is jogging in the middle of a cane field. He's wearing a black and green shirt with the word LEAP written on the front, with black shorts and black sneakers. Rolando Fagan appears at the bottom of the screen. Jeffery jogs with much control before speeding up and coming to an abrupt stop in front of a puddle of water.
Ooh, yes, Jeffery boy. No, Jeffery, can't give up yet. I just want a little bit more. Just compose yourself, my boss, and make we just finish this.
With sweat washing his face and an intense glare towards the end of the track, he starts jogging again. Directed by Rick Roy Williams appears at the bottom of the screen. Jeffery's house is now on screen. The sun is calm and the trees are green. There's a black dog walking across the yard. Solace 2 appears in bold in the middle of the screen. Jeffery can be seen walking slowly up the driveway from a distance. Closer. He looks deep in thought. He reaches the top of the yard, then stops briefly.
Time for clean up the yard there, no.
He looks around, then walks to a corner at the front steps and picks up a yard rake. He walks to the other side of the yard and puts down a bottle he had in his hand.
Yeah, look how much I tree them, me clear them out that place. And everywhere you look, I just leaf, same way up on the lawn. Why, may I tell you, man?
Jeffery's raking the grass. The yard is large with an array of fruit trees beyond the groomed area. He rakes a couple heaps before turning his attention to a cherry tree.
A good thing we never chop down that one, yeah. Still can't get little fruit off of it.
He uses the rake to pick a cherry that falls to the ground. He picks up the fruit and eats it. Jeffery then takes a few steps from the tree and resumes raking.
Now let my bag here and sit here. Where does that sit here come from, so?
After a quick pause to take up a plastic bottle, Jeffery continues to rake for a little, then walks a few steps over to a small pile of blocks.
Can't bet you dog them, you know. You know, say them too.
He leans the rake on the building blocks, then walks to the house. Jeffery walks up to the steps and opens the small, white but rusted gates at the top. He takes a brisk look around to see if anyone's looking before proceeding to take the house key from his secret spot to the left of the door on the wall. He opens the door. The sun rays shining through on the red wooden floor illuminates the handle of a cutlass laying under a red cabinet. He takes it up. Flashback. Jeffery walks hurriedly down the steps wearing his overall with the cutlass in his right hand. He aggressively walks down the yard into the driveway. He abruptly stops, turns around with a disgruntled look on his face. He heads back towards the house. He makes his way back to the driveway, but with his cutlass and a bicycle. He swiftly walks down the hill, pushing the bicycle, with his left hand on the crossbar and his right hand on the seat holding the cutlass. He gets to the main road, hops on the bicycle, and starts to ride. He rides past an abandoned white box truck in some bushes on the right, up a hill with more bushes on the left, a grey wall, through a small town with a cluster of shops, makes a left at Williamsfield's crossroad. He rides through an old yellow rusted bridge. Jeffery looks tired from the long ride as he pushes a little more to get to his destination. He jumps off the bicycle and drops it on some grass close to the main road and swiftly walks into a yard nearby. He takes his glasses from his face and places it in the top left pocket of his overall.
Son!
Jeffery is at the front of a grilled one-level house.
Son!
He's vexed, looking through the grill as Shan walks towards him.
So where you go with cutlass, Jeffery?
Where your man there?
Him not there that none for the video.
Then what happened for frightened princess make she scream out so?
Still none of your business, Jeffery.
What you mean? No. Alright, let's talk about my business, Shan. Princess. The phone I bought for her, The schedule that you set so that me can call and talk to her. Your boyfriend grab her phone and cut off the call, you know. Nothing to say. You see, bad enough you feel like you need to be in another situation there. But as you say, none of my business. Except when you have my daughter growing up, witnessing it like it is okay. It's no okay, Shan. And it not even make sense we call the police. Because every time we call the police and them respond, your life will protect him. But you know what? I could just put on that conversation over there, so I could put it on over there, so. You want me to tell you my biggest fear? My biggest fear is him get so comfortable doing what I do to you and treat you the way I treat you. Him think it is alright for touch me daughter. Shanika Joy Anderson. Me I beg you do. No make you reach this up. Or else the last thing him would have touch.
You can chop nobody?
Shanika, may I come go over here? Please, keep with daughter safe.
Shan fidgets and stares at Jeffrey with mixed emotions.
Princess!
Present day. Jeffrey's house door closes. He heads outside, closing the gate behind him. He casually walks down the steps, cutlass in hand. He walks to the right of the front of the house at the garage where he takes an orange handle file from a crevice. He anchors the cutlass on a board leaning on the wall and sharpens it. He uses the file to knot the cutlass, then returned it to where he retrieved it. A white Toyota Crown drives into Shan's big front yard. It is late afternoon and there are puddles of water on the lawn, a sign it rained earlier. The car drives over puddles of water and comes to a complete stop. The door of the driver's side opens. A young man steps out, then closes the door. He has a thick beard and mustache and is decked in black and white with a khaki bucket hat and gold jewelry. He takes his phone from his pocket and makes vain gestures to check himself on the phone and the car. Seemingly satisfied, he puts back the phone and retrieves a key while walking towards the house. He unlocks the padlocked grill while the back car door opens behind him. As he turns to look in the direction of the car, a little girl jumps from the vehicle, creating a slight splash while moving towards the house. She stops in her tracks, turns back and grabs her pink fluffy bag from the car. She has a light brown complexion, cornrowed hair, and is wearing a blue sleeveless shirt and pink shorts. She runs to the house but slows down just before climbing the step. He grabs her firmly and pushes her on the veranda. He looks at her with annoyance, then steps onto the veranda and pulls up the grill behind him. Then takes his phone from his pocket.
Yo, chap.
Yo, my dog.
Why style, G?
You still a forward?
Yeah, man, I'm still a forward. Where you say, man?
Oh.
Yo, Shanna there, you know. She there cozy, you see me?
Yeah.
So I go set some put on 2 pot. Come a Raji, you see me? And set some all are fresh. By them time, they should forward back.
So should I forward, then I forward?
Yeah, man, I want to you, man. Where you say, man?
Oh.
Yeah, but...
Alright, link up.
He ends the call and walks away from the grill. Jeffrey is diligently cutting the grass on the yard.
Then look on this honestness, eh? Alright, Jeffrey, you know what? I pack up time. Cause one bite and the day mash up for you.
He pulls out a few weeds with his hands, walks a few steps, then lands the cutlass in a tree stump. He's slowly raking a pile of grass, then starts to hurry.
You know what this is no father? Rain.
He suddenly runs off without picking up the pile or grabbing his cutlass as rain pours from the sky. He then sits the rake at the corner front steps as he enters the veranda. Jeffrey sits on the veranda wall with his back turned to the driveway, rubbing his left hand with his right hand while pondering.
Boy, Father God, if it's even for like 5 minutes, just hold up your rain there so I can finish what I did I do. One, clean up over this one and have the place I look.
He turns and sees Princess in the distance walking up the driveway in the pouring rain but with an umbrella. He hurriedly gets up, opens the gate and runs down to meet her, almost slipping to a fall just before he gets to her. He picks her up with her umbrella and backpack, wearing the same clothes she was when she had just gotten home with Adrian. He carefully makes his way back to the house. He climbs the steps and drops the umbrella and places her to sit atop an old sewing machine.
Princess,
Yes,
where's mommy?
Toronto.
Oh, what happened to you?
And lit me.
Jeffrey glared at Princess, placed her slipper on the table while suppressing shock and anger, then takes a rag from her bag.
It's alright, baby.
He wipes her left foot, then removes her right slipper and places it on the machine beside her, then wipes her right foot.
You want something to eat?
Yes.
Alright, go.
He lifts her, takes up her slippers, and walks into the house. He pushes open a door, goes inside, takes clothes from the bed, and sits Princess down. He then opens and secures a pink curtain, letting in more natural light. He walks out the room, takes his glasses from the dining table, wipes the lens with the bottom of his shirt, and puts them on.
Alright, food.
Jeffrey stands at the sink and knocks his fingers.
Think Jeffrey, which part did left nothing in that fridge, I'm sure of that.
He looks around. He moves a pan from a shelf, then rubs his head.
Shadow star.
He leans forward over the sink and rests his head on his right hand and uses his left hand to knot the counter.
Jeez, man.
He gets up and fumbles a blue container along with a few other items from the shelf. He finds a piece of crumbled foil paper and opens it. He folds it back and holds it in his hand, then takes up a green plastic cup.
Princess no fussy, she will drink some water. Better than nothing. Sure.
He fills the cup with water from the pipe, then exits the kitchen. He's back in the room with Princess. He places the foil on the dresser, revealing 2 crackers with a cup of water.
Princess,
Yes.
this is the only time that he's ever going to leave you alone, alright?
Jeffrey forces a smile at Princess, then exits the room. In the pouring rain, Jeffrey takes the cutlass from the tree stump and walks off. Jeffrey's standing in a house passage with the cutlass firmly clutched in his right hand and a disgruntled-looking face. A door opens to the passage with Adrian alighting from the room. To be continued appears on the screen. Then Kevin Too Crazy. Then Rolly So Easy. Credit roll. Thank you for watching our little film. We hope you enjoyed.
There's rain, there's wind, lightning, there's thunder. The odds against me and my world set asunder. Yet in the moment, just a thought of you and solace. There's fire, there's flood, there's heat.